Many people read books and follow every guide they can find, but this leads to information overload. When you're exposed to too much information, your brain struggles to distinguish what's essential from what's just noise. Economist Vilfredo Pareto discovered that 20% of Italy's population owned 80% of the land. Later, people realized that this 80-20 proportion appears everywhere. This principle, known as the 80-20 rule, states that 80% of results come from just 20% of efforts. Here's how it works. 20% of vocabulary enables you to understand 80% of conversations. 20% of musical techniques lead to 80% of skill improvement. 20% of coding knowledge solves 80% of programming challenges. This principle changes the game when it comes to learning skills quickly. While most people waste time on unnecessary details, those who apply the 80-20 rule focus only on what truly matters. If 80% of success comes from just 20% of actions, it makes sense to stop spending time on the rest. To master a skill as fast as possible, you need to identify the 20% of key actions, concepts, or techniques that bring the most impact. Double down on those. Ignore everything else, at least for now. Why surrounding yourself with experts speeds up learning. Imagine you want to climb Mount Everest. Would you go with a group of beginners who have never seen snow, or would you join experienced mountaineers? The answer is obvious. The same principle applies to learning. You develop much faster when you surround yourself with experts. Experts aren't just people who know more than you. They are real-life cheat codes that shortcut the learning process, expose you to methods you wouldn't have thought of, and, most importantly, show you what you're doing wrong. One of the biggest challenges in learning is blind spots. When you're learning a new skill, you're operating in the dark, not knowing whether you're doing things right. As a result, you can spend years repeating the same mistake without realizing it. Experts instantly recognize your blind spots because they've already been through the process. It's like a chess grandmaster who sees 3 moves ahead, while a beginner only focuses on what's right in front of them. For example, imagine you're learning to play the guitar. You practice for months, but your playing still sounds off. Then a professional guitarist watches you for 30 seconds and says, "Your fingers are too flat on the frets. Tilt them slightly." One small tweak, and your playing improves instantly. If you were learning alone, you might take years to discover that mistake. When learning by yourself, you rely on trial and error. You try one method, fail, try another, fail again, and repeat. This eventually works, but it's extremely slow. Experts eliminate the guesswork for you. They've already made the mistake, so they know the exact path you need to take. Instead of guessing, you follow a proven roadmap. Being surrounded by experts also shapes your thinking. You pick up their language, terminology, comparisons, and mental models, things beginners would never be exposed to. You also learn to approach problems the way they do and hold yourself to their high standards. Another key factor is the right kind of pressure. When you're surrounded by people who are way more skilled than you might feel out of place. It's uncomfortable, but that discomfort is one of the strongest forces for growth. You feel the need to keep up, which pushes you to work harder than you would if you were practicing alone.